Okay, you can go ahead.
Guys, first let me apologize for doing this to you on a Friday afternoon. I'm sorry. But it just seemed to be the best time that I could come over and we could do this. So I will keep this as brief as possible. I promise. I promise. Are we gonna put the slides up on?
I'll do the best I can. You just crank it out and I'll do it.
Okay, well, I was gonna start with slide 5. If you have on the PowerPoint, I was gonna skip the introduction and just say, you remember me from last time, I'm Rebecca Elswick. I'm the one that emails you and harasses you all the time and asks you to do teacher logs and things like that. And I'll be the one contacting you again. But the most important thing is, in my email, you probably have, but it'll be on the last frame of this, is that I'm your go-to person to help you. And if I can't answer your question, I can get with the people and get an answer. So please don't hesitate. Even you can call me. It doesn't matter. I'll be available that week, especially that week you're testing. Please call me, please contact me, I'll get back to you. I keep my phone and everything right with me that week so that I can get up with you. Even when you're doing your retesting, I'll be available to try to help you. And like I said, if I can't answer your questions, I can find someone who can. So this is still the C3WP, which is the College Ready Writers Program. And of course, we have the 3 C's: college, career, and community. So we're not just targeting for students that are going to college. This is writing for all students, we hope, that will make them better communicators as they progress through school and they go out into the world. So what I'm asking you to do is basically what you did in the fall, is to test the students again. As I said, you all are the late start school, and that's why you're not getting the in-services in between the testing that will come in the 3rd year. So right now we're just getting testing information and we're drawing statistical information that's going in. This is going into an independent research center. And I forget, 17 states and 47 school districts are participating in this. So, and we were very lucky to get this grant. Dr. Amy Clark at UVA-Wise was the one that asked for the grant for Southwestern Virginia, and we got it. So it's not evaluating you in any way. It's not going to have anything to do with you and your teaching at all. Not evaluating your school district. It's not evaluating your students. It's all going in. The numbers are just going into the system, and it's not going to mark any one person or any one student. Okay. So as I said, if you're interested, SRI, the International Research Center, is a nonprofit research organization that National Rank Project is using to do this. What I want to talk to you all about is what you all are going to have to do. Overview, you only basically have 2 things you need to do this spring is to test, and then one more time we'll ask you to do a teacher log, a 1-week teacher log like we did before. And then that'll be it. These students, though, will be followed up again next year. Next year also we're picking up 4th grade and 5th grade to test, and then we'll continue 7 through 10, so your 9th graders will be tested in the 10th grade again. Okay. So let me see who I've got here. High school is 9th, right? So I've got you 2 are the high school. What grades do you have?
7th.
And y'all have 7th. So I don't have a 6th grade or an 8th grade.
No.
Teacher here, okay, all right. Your testing time is set up for 8th through 12th. Y'all will be testing the week of the 8th through the 12th. Also, we have in your packet, you will have teacher permission letters. Do you remember those? Okay, those will go home to new students or anyone who didn't do one last time. Give them one of these to take home. If they already gave permission last time, you don't have to send them again. Okay, and you're going to have a roster in these packets of who you tested last time. So that's who your target to test again. Plus there's place on there to add students. And also there's a way that if like you have tested a student and it's in his room now, or your student was in his room now, there's a way on there to mark that too. Okay. Okay. Any questions so far?
Oh, that was such handy. Are we closed one day that week?
I don't think so. I think it's the week after.
Okay.
So you're not, that won't be a problem?
We've got Good Friday, and I think it's like the 20th.
Oh, okay, so we,
Oh,
The
okay.
Friday and the Monday are
that's gonna mess up Buchanan County, but you guys will be good. That's probably, I don't know what they're doing. Alright, so, alright, so it says now for what we were talking about for the block schools, it makes it a little different, because you have to go find the students that you did in the fall, and I apologize for that. But, 7th and 8th, 6th, 7th, 8th shouldn't have to worry about that, right? You're an all year, okay, so that won't be a problem. Alright, let's look at the administrating of the writing prompts. So, of course, the ultimate goal of this whole program is to improve students' writing skills. And the best way to measure that, of course, is to look at their writing, and that's how the tests are designed, and that's how they're evaluated. So, and this is all going, like I said, going into the C3WP grant system and so forth. So, here again, on day 1, you will ask the students to read a set of nonfiction texts. I'm assuming that's exactly what you all did last time, okay? It includes infographics, articles, it's nonfiction type, as it said, nonfiction text. And then students will be asked to use the text to write their argument on the next day. Okay, so what you do is what you collect from them on that first day, you will get back to them on the second day to use when they write their arguments. Okay? And that's it. That doesn't sound too hard, but I know it's, when you're actually doing it, it can be a little more different, because the kids can have a million questions, can't they? Yeah, but it's basically the collecting information on the first day is used to do the writing on the second day. The important thing is that it's done within 2 consecutive days, so that students don't have a break. Now, I know you can't help it if they're not here, and there has to be. But if the students are here, nothing should interfere with them testing 2 days in a row. And that's something the guidance counselors can help us with if there's something coming up, because I don't know, there's tons of things in the spring I know already happening. So we can look ahead maybe to that week, check with the guidance counselors, make sure that the students won't be interrupted, the testing on those 2 days. As I said, this year we're doing 7th and 8th and 9th, and then next year we're going to pick up 4th and 5th grade. And 4th and 5th grade teachers have already been asked to do a teacher log, like you all were asked, and they'll be asked again in the spring. Those teachers will. Okay. 5 days before, which will be starting Monday, you need to send the parent notification letters home. We'll get in the packets here in a minute and go through those. That's important that we have permission.
And that's just for the students who
That's just for the
didn't
students.
do it before.
Right. Any student who did not participate in the administration last fall. That's what my information is. If you have any new students who came in after the administration, or students who were gone during the administration and can be tested now, they need a notification letter. But if they did one last time, you don't need to do one again.
Did we submit those to you? Will that be on the roster who turned them in? Because I did not keep a personal record of
I'm
who
sure
brought
that
this
should be
stuff
on the
in.
roster.
Okay.
If not, I will definitely find out. So, now if Monday and Tuesday, you have that week of the 8th through the 12th. If you want to do it the 8th and 9th, if you want to do it the 9th and 10th, you pick what 2 days, what 2 consecutive days are best for you. If you don't think Monday's a good day for kids, or if you want to avoid Friday's not a good day for kids, and do it in the middle of the week, that's up to you. So you decide. As I said, like you said, you tested them in the cafeteria or whatever with Rita. Just get with her and ever how you want to do it. That's fine. Okay. This is not like our standardized tests that have to be kept under lock and key and nobody can look at. It's not like that. So you choose 2 consecutive days to administer the writing and the reading and the writing prompts, okay? Now, within a week after that initial administration, you need to pick you 2 days to do your makeups, or which day the student missed one day, or if the student missed both days. So you should host an administrative makeup day for those students who are absent, okay? And then hopefully within 2 weeks, I'll give you time to get all that together. What they've asked me to do this time is do not close up and tape your boxes. I'm supposed to come meet with you, go through the materials. They want it packed in a certain way before we send it back. So, and I will email you and I will say, can I come such and such a time? Maybe during your planning or something, okay? And tape up the boxes and send them back. Which is good, you guys. There's 3 boxes here. I've got 11 boxes to go to Buchanan County, so I'm really happy with you guys. So I will let you know for sure, and make sure it's a good time for you to come and collect the boxes, the good old boxes. Now, I will, as I said in a minute, I've already opened 1 box and looked in it. We will definitely open your boxes and let you go through that. And I've got what I did, and I'll go ahead and let y'all take these and take one for who's not here. They gave me a list of most often asked questions that teachers have once they get into it with an answer, and I printed it off for you guys. So use that as your look to if you're not sure about something. I thought that would be really, really helpful. Okay, the new thing. The good thing you will see is the roster. That's the biggest change here. You will receive in a new document, which is the C3WP roster. This is what they have in their research center. This is what went in to them last time, okay? And it's created based on the prompts that were returned. Since students may have shifted classrooms, as I said, left the district, or in a new school, it's important that you compare that roster with your roster now, or the roster that you had last semester. Hopefully that won't be a problem for you to get a copy of. There's a place on here, empty rows, to add students. There's an other box to indicate if the student is new. If the student left the school, there's also, please note it in the other box, there's a place to write in, new student, left school, no longer here, whatever. If a student switched classes, you can check the switch classes and write the new teacher's name in, so all that's going to be on the rosters, okay? And for all students on the roster, it is important that 1 box is checked so that the SRI, the research people, know their status. If they're new, if they're the same student, or if they're different. For instance, if a student completed the prompt during the initial administration or makeup, done should be checked. We lost data last time because the paper on the front of the packet that was supposed to be signed by the student that they could use their information was left blank on a lot of them, so they lost. They lost the ability to use that. Now, the materials are in alphabetical order by the student's last name. Okay, you'll see the name on the bottom right-hand corner of the packets. In the bottom of the stack, you'll see blank prompts without names, which can be distributed to the new students. Okay. Now, or if a student comes up and says, "Hey, I got this prompt last time." That's why you have blank prompts also.
What a conscientious student that would be, too.
Yeah, how would they remember? But you never know.
I have a question. I have 2 students in 1 class who get a scrap accommodation.
We're going to get to that. They have their accommodation.
Okay, that wasn't my question. Last time we gave them the same prompt. So the co-teacher only had to read once to them. Will we be able to change so that they can have the same prompt again?
I can't answer that, but I can ask.
Okay.
I will ask them and see if that's
Probably a national question, she said. She
Yeah.
can say yes, but she can say.
I taught special ed and I know exactly what you mean. That's exactly what I would have done. But we'll make sure it's okay. I don't see why it would be a problem,
Right.
but we'll make sure and check.
Okay, because I know with testing and stuff.
Cause I'm
right now
adamant
we're
about
gonna be
students
short.
getting their accommodations. I taught special education for a while, my son had accommodations, so I'm adamant about students getting their accommodations. I think sometimes they don't get the fair shake on the testing. I remember the day they came in and told me I couldn't teach general math anymore, that all students could take algebra and geometry. This guy at the State Department had said that. Yeah, that's another story for a different day. Okay, so students who receive a blank prompt must be sent home with the parent notification form at least 5 days before, as we said. The new students have to have a letter, a parent notification letter for them. Okay, let's see. I'm trying to skip through stuff you already know. A student can also choose not to have his or her writing included, which I don't know if that was a problem with anybody last time, but they can choose, and that has to be marked on the front. Because like I said before, if it's not marked one way or the other, it still didn't get counted. Okay. So on day one, you distribute the reading packets to students. As I said, they're in alphabetical order by the student last name, so that they receive the same reading and writing prompt the next day. It's already sorted for you, okay? So on the cover of the blank reading packet, students will find in their information. It should be their name, teacher's name, that of course that was from last semester, the period from last semester, and the grade, okay? The student information on the cover of the reading packet will be used to redistribute on day two. Not a time test. Absolutely not a time test. Which means, well, what happens to the 2-day margin? Then that's why we give you a whole week. Please, even students without accommodations, if they need more time, they can have more time. Can they take it home? No. Can they take it to art class or music class and do it? No. It still needs to be within your vision of the student doing it. Any questions about that? Okay, students can choose to opt out, we've already talked about that. Students with blank prompts will fill out their information. Of course, they won't have a printed sheet with their name and so forth on it, so all that'll have to be added. Okay, students with blank prompts must fill out. Okay, slide 19 I'm on now. Now we're ready to dig into day two, the writing day. On day two is when you redistribute each student's reading packets and you hand out their respective writing packets. Now, pre-printed writing packets will have the student's name, the ones. Please make sure all students receive the correct writing prompts. Obviously, we want them to be writing about what they read about the day before. If they got a blank packet, make sure to give them the corresponding writing packet. Okay, if they're starting out fresh. Using the same student instructions from day one, you will begin reading through the day two materials. Always read through them, the instructions out loud to everyone on day one and on day two, the instructions. In your bundle of materials, you have included enough pens for all the students. Don't put the pens back in the box. A lot of schools did that. You're supposed to keep them. Keep the pens. Lord knows teachers don't get.
I don't mean to.
Anything.
I have to go. I have to meet somebody to drop off my kids.
Could she pick up your packet?
Yeah, would that be okay? Could you
Yeah.
grab?
I'll help you.
Okay. I'm sorry. And are you gonna post this on the website?
I will. I'll send it directly to you guys.
Okay.
Okay. On the writing day, if they run out of space on the packet, it's lined, then you can use lined notebook paper. Okay, if students need more paper. They should have lined paper to respond to, but you know how kids are. Let them have more paper that they want. Make sure it's lined. Hopefully so that it's like the other. If a student receives IEP accommodations, they get their accommodations. Give them the typical testing accommodations that they would have for any other class accommodations, whether that be more time, whether that be breaks, whether that be Rev 2, whatever that be. Make sure that they get their accommodations. And make sure this is an in-class activity, like I said, they can't take it to lunch or take it to another class or whatever with them. And they absolutely can't take it home. So at the end of the period, you will collect the writing packets. Whether the student feels that they have completed their responses, you include them in the envelope. They take everything. It's considered what defines, and that's on that packet I gave, that handout I gave you. If there's even a few sentences or a paragraph, it's considered a completed test, okay? Even like I said, if it's just a paragraph. Also, they're to do it whether or not the parents have opted them out. When we send them in, they destroy the ones that say opted out, but we still send them. That way students don't feel like they can get out of doing it by saying, well, I'm opting out. They all have to do it, but then they can opt out whether or not it's counted in the study, okay? For new students and students who receive the green assent form, we are counting on you to also make sure all students have checked one of the consent boxes. This happened last fall. Students didn't check, and they had to be tossed. They have to say yes or no on there, whatever it says. A lot of them came back blank, and they had to be tossed. So we don't want to lose the opportunity to learn from their writing. And, you know, want to use as much of this in the study as possible. And the more we get, the better. Okay. Okay. On day 2, make it as similar to day 1 as possible. Now, before you return your materials, as I said, I'll come and we'll check them to make sure that you review the C3WP prompt classroom roster, and make sure the one thing I'm asking you to do before I come is to go through that roster and to go through and make sure those students have checked yes or no, because once I come to pick them up, it's too late probably to go hunt them down and ask them, did you mean to check yes or did you mean to check no? So if you'll make sure you check that students have indicated on there which option that they want, okay? And as I said before, please add any new students on the blank rows. So, you know, I'll get with Mr. Robinson and ask when would be a good time to come. I will always email you all and say, is it okay now? Are you finished? You know, I know the stuff comes up. You know, I always think of flood, fire, and snow this time of year. The biggest snow we ever had was in April. You know, if anything comes up that delays it, I will check with you and say, don't want to come over here in a driving rainstorm like I did last time. It seems like it's always, I was so happy today it wasn't raining when I came over here. That's all it's done this year is rain. So I'll make sure, try to coordinate that with you guys. Now we're going to open the materials. Are you ready? All right. This one is, there's 2 middle school boxes and 1 high school. This one is middle school. I'm going to lift it up on the table for me. And this one is also middle school, 2 of 2. So I don't know when I find you're packing that one or when we have to open the other one. You want to look in there? That should be the,
So 16 classes, four sets of pens.
mm-hmm.
We
No.
have 4 classes of pens.
I'll look on the envelopes. It should have names on the envelopes. The envelopes are like,
April
April Hay.
well, she picked a good day, didn't she?
Yeah,
Miss Miranda.
that's 4 blocks for each thing.
Pens for April.
Are those probably all Miranda's in them?
Miranda, and Miranda. So you want to leave April's out? We'll pack mine and Miranda's together.
Oh, okay, yeah, that's a good idea.
Didn't bring a box opener, didn't even think about that.
Got your knife, Mr. Boyd?
I did.
He actually does.
I do.
Good for you.
Yeah.
Multi-tool.
It's probably as sharp as your key though.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can have that key.
Cut leather.
I'm always afraid I'll cut what's inside.
Those will go with April's.
There you go, James.
There we go.
This is basically it. Look at your things, make sure you have what you're supposed to have. Thank you. And there's the extras, you two, that will be shared for the whole
For
the whole
entire
group, whole middle school.
Okay.
That's the extras, so you be in charge of keeping up with those. When the new students or whatever, or the student that says, hey, I did this last time.
Quincy's card very much.
And now inside your packet should be your roster. If you wanna cross-reference your rosters today, you can. If you wanna take them and do it, I'm fine with that too. But you have a roster from who you tested last time, and then you'll have to update it to who you're gonna test this time.
Let's see, I'm gonna put these with, Teresa's and April's. I think theirs are here. Are these Teresa's and April's?
Yeah, I think so.
And you know what, I asked them last time, I said, do you notice you got nice brown boxes last time? I pitched a fit and I said those horrible white boxes they had bought like from Office Depot that crumbled and crushed and didn't hold up. I said, don't you dare send those things in those boxes again. You're not just sending them to the next town over, those have to travel a long way.
Now these aren't in the envelopes, they're all open.
Okay. Take a look at that. Were they all under one name?
That's not me. That's probably yours, right?
Well,
Well, I
actually,
mean,
it's,
no, I have to mix.
it's all of my students.
Cause I had
Together.
Jackson,
Oh, okay.
and I had Jackson
Yeah,
Blevins.
it doesn't have a name on it, it's all, I think that it may just be all.
I think it's
together.
everybody.
The whole ninth grade?
I think so.
Because y'all tested them all together,
Yeah.
probably.
Okay.
Yeah,
That's how, why they listed them that way.
yeah,
Okay.
Because are you gonna do that again? Okay.
yeah.
Okay. So all you need to do is go through that list from who you tested last time and see who's new, if there's anybody new this time, or gone that was here last time. And here again, Rita needs to be your go-to person for that, since y'all tested them all as one group. And then these are your extras.
Yeah.
And there's really, when you have students, there's really no other way to do it in that situation.
Yeah.
It seemed to be the best way to do it. So the next thing you need to do is you need to cross-reference your rosters to make sure, check on the students to see if they're still here, add the students that aren't here, and make sure the students that weren't here or didn't test last time get us a parent letter that should be in those packets. There should be a parent letter
Yeah.
that you can make copies of and use, okay? Don't lose the the FedEx, this is
Oh,
what
yeah,
sends it back. And that's your initial count, so just leave that in the box. The FedEx man and I are on first name terms. We've done this so much. So, do you have any questions regarding the process of what all y'all have to do and so forth and so on? I know this is a lot of information dumped on you, but hopefully this is a little neat little tool here will help you if you have questions. If not, immediately contact me. The main thing is, a couple of things that's on here, do not throw away the boxes. They need to go back in the boxes that they came in. I had trouble with a couple of schools that threw away the boxes. They're adamant about that, and the NWP is make sure that you put them back in the boxes. I mean, if you only had like one or two left, you could throw away the box and put them all in one box, but it's better to put it back in the box, one of those boxes. Any questions? Seriously, think if there's anything you can think of. And there's even a thing if you wanna write any messages or ask any questions that you can do and put in the box when you send it. Anything, Ms. Robinson, you can think of?
These folks are
I
ready.
appreciate you all. Y'all just don't know how much I appreciate you all. I really do. And if I didn't believe in this, I wouldn't be doing it. I've been a teacher consultant since 2010, almost 10 years. No, 2006. So I've been longer than that. And been, like I said, been involved in this since 2010 when we started on this process of developing this program. And if I didn't think it helped teachers, and I didn't think it was something that you would be glad that you did later down the road, especially a new teacher that's starting out, it's gonna give you some wonderful materials and things ways to help teach writing, to help your students. Lord knows we have a difficult way to go.
If we can convince the state to get rid of the eighth grade
Yeah,
writing test.
That's what we're trying, that's what NWP's been trying to do across the nation.
Well, we know we did the PBAs in writing it this year for in the course, and I think the teachers are raving about that, and it's sort of in the same frame of mind about how you go about doing that. It's more the writing than it is the multiple choice on the grammar. I think, and Tara says that the writing is much better in that way they do it. I mean, I guess you've been part of that too, and that's what she talked about.
And it's difficult to teach writing. You give them writing, you have to read it. You know, and what we do with the National Writing Project, with the Appalachian Writing Project is we give you tools and ways to help that process so that it's not, gone are the days of the teacher reads the student's essay and takes a red pen and writes in everything they should have done and then gives it back to them. Because what's that student do when they get that? Goes in the trash. They're not gonna look at it or whatever. We have other ways, hopefully, that help you to take that student back through that process and back through that process again and again, until they get the first essay done the way it should be before we just go on to something else that you're gonna mark up and that they're gonna toss away. So, like I said, I believe in it. It changed the way I taught. It made me a much better teacher. I even see, like I said, students even all the way through college. I read this somewhere, and I don't remember where it was, but I thought it was just nailed it perfectly. It said, we are in schools, we are preparing students for a multiple choice world. And then when they go to college, they're asked to do a reading and writing world, be in a reading and writing world. And it's not that they're not smart, it's just they can't make that transition. You know, we don't live in a multiple choice world. Well, in law school, they take 2 days of tests, 1 day's multiple choice, they have a whole day of essay. A whole day. So, you know, in the real world, we have to be able to be critical thinkers and argumentative and writers. So that's what the National Writing Project is trying to prove and to show, and they're saying, this is why we're asking for grant money, because we're taking this into the schools, and we're training teachers to be teacher consultants, because who do you learn from? You learn from teachers who can share with you their best practices of teaching writing with research to back it up. And they have the research that backs this up, that it works. So that's the end of my speech. I'll climb down off my soapbox, and thank you all for staying with me for a little while here on Friday evening, and I hope you have a really good weekend. And please, please do not hesitate to contact me. I'll check my email continuously, and then just call me if you have to. Any questions? Thank you. Thank you, thank you. Good luck with your test.
Thank you.